Welcome to Get Your FRQ On. In this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to use a graphing calculator to solve some basic Pythagorean theorem problems. So there's two different types of problems you might encounter requiring you to use the Pythagorean theorem. The first one is you know two legs of a right triangle and you're trying to find the length of the hypotenuse. In that case, we have an example of a squared plus b squared equals c squared. And if we apply some algebra to that, we're just going to have c equals the square root of a squared plus b squared. So let's say we have two sides of a triangle. One of them is 3, one of them is 8. And I just need the square root of a squared plus b squared. So my square root button is the second function down here on x squared. So that would be second, and then the square root key. So second square root, and then what did I say? 3 squared plus 8 squared, and then I'm just going to move out of the square root here. And then whatever this is will be the value of the hypotenuse, or the length of the hypotenuse as a decimal. Keep in mind you may need to express this exactly. 3 squared is 9, 8 squared is 64, so the hypotenuse would be exactly the square root of 73, but if you just need a decimal, you can get that. That would be about 8.544. The other way you might need the Pythagorean theorem is if you know the hypotenuse and one of the legs and you're trying to find the other leg. So let's say we had a right triangle where the hypotenuse was 8 and one of the legs was 3. Well, if that's the case, we have b squared equals the square equals c squared minus a squared, and so b is the square root of c squared minus a squared. So I would set that up a little bit differently. So I'm still going to use square root, but now my hypotenuse is 8, so I have 8 squared, and then I have to subtract the other leg squared. So 64 minus 9 is 55, so this should be the square root of 55, or as a decimal, 7.416. But that's how you can use the square root function on a graphing calculator to solve Pythagorean theorem problems.